Howdy everybody, welcome to another episode of The Talking Grind. Those of you who are watching and this will be your first one, if it is, welcome. If it isn't, pretty much you already know the gist if it isn't your first time, but if it is your first time, this is just a segment of where I play a video game in the background to try and talk about random things, probably stuff that's happening in my life, stuff that's interesting me, and so on. It's just like long form-ish content with subtle grinding in the background. Today's the game grinding is gonna be Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, which was released originally for the 3DS, but I got it was also re-released on PlayStation 4 with the Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 HD remix, final mix, whatever. It's a very long title. Point is, hey, this game that was on the DS is now. This is so hard to use. I can move the camera while using it. Game that was originally released on the 3DS is now here. I'm currently doing a proud mode run. That's why I'm grinding. So I thought, hey, why not make at least one of these episodes. It's been a while since the last Talking Grind. I don't remember which it was. I think I only have one, which happens to be the Nier Automata one. I have two. I have one with Shadow of Mordor, featuring the Silver Fox, who is one of my friends. His link is also in the description. But today, I want to talk about how, like, addiction to technology. And I don't know why I want to, but like I'm thinking about it now, like how often I'm on technology, and in the basest terms of the word, you can call it an addiction, because there's not a single day where I don't go on technology, such as like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all these things. There's not a day that I don't go on them. And when I'm not on them, I feel I'm so used to opening chests with triangle. And when I don't go on them, I feel like I'm out of the loop from everything. So I don't know what's going on with people, and I feel disconnected. And I guess that can be considered kind of like a symptom of withdrawal, of not having my fix. Now, do I see electronic addiction as a bad thing? No, I don't. Because, of course, in today's day and age, it's what, 85% of things are functioned with. The electronic aspect of our life. We're constantly on our devices, but I feel like people need to learn to get away from it at some point in their life, and myself included. I don't spend a lot of time away from my my electronics. Since I love playing video games, I love listening to music, reading manga on my phone is fantastic, and like these are the things that I enjoy doing, and I prefer to stay inside. But there are times when I like to get out and I like to enjoy what's around me. Like lately I've been playing Pokemon Go again with my dad, because he really liked playing the game, so he stuck with it, since something easy for him to do every now and then when he was going to work. And he stopped at his job. I think there was a poker stop next to his job, so he would constantly play every now and then. And it happened to also be an EV farm. Lucky bastard. But like, I didn't really realize it that because of Pokemon Go, yeah, I'm outside again. But today we were looking for one of the legendary raids, and if you don't know what that is, Pokemon Go finally did their update where they released the legendaries. I know a lot of people stopped playing after a while, so. We didn't find one today, sadly, but we ended up fighting an Arcanine, and the point was the fact that the gym was such a beautiful place. Like, the gym was next to this statue in the park that outlooked outlooked a little lake, and the sun was setting kind of when we got there. Because we got there a little late. We got there around 6 or 7, and the sun was starting to getting ready to go down. But everything looked so nice, and it was one of those like picture perfect moments that I enjoy. Well, usually I take pictures of them, but it was just one of those moments where it's just like, you know, sometimes being outside of my room, outside of these walls, and not playing games isn't so bad. And I get to see things like this, and I enjoyed it. Would I have rather been playing video games at the time? Yeah, because it's hot, it's the middle of summer, and I don't like the heat. That's just me. But it was just such a nice change of pace where I got to breathe some fresh air. It's not something that generally happens a lot. So for it to have happened, I can't say that I wasn't happy about it. I do feel like the world is addicted to technology, but it's also driven by technology to push itself even further. And part of me can't wait to see what's next. Am I scared of how technology is advancing so rapidly? Slightly. It's amazing what we can do now with all these little gadgets. Like, I was reading that smartphones today have more functionality than the rocket that first took man to the moon. And just thinking about that is amazing. It's also kind of scary because it's where all of our resources are going. That and military, of course, because we need that. But it's a daunting thought, and I feel like that's what people don't notice, is just how big these things can get. Oops. Did I jump already? Oh. What else am I talking about? Okay. So, earlier today, I was playing Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2. And now, I don't generally complain about the super moves that you see in like the show and the anime and stuff. But when they try and do those type of things into like the game, and they nerf it really hard, it's really hard to enjoy. So, one of the moves, if you don't know what Dragon Ball Z is, wow, congrats. I thought that was impossible at this time. I'm pretty sure the entire world knows what it is. But one of the moves from the show and in the game is the ×20 Kamehameha, which is supposed to be this really powerful Kamehameha powered by the Kaioken. I believe that's the description. The point I'm trying to make is the game nerfs that attack so hard in a way where it's almost unusable. And that really sucks because of a few reasons. One, it's a very expensive attack to buy. So just unlocking the skill, Super Kamehameha ×20 whatever, fucking mangoes over here, is already, you know, an achievement. Because one, it's one of the most expensive moves, I guess, aside from the Spirit Bomb. I haven't gotten that far yet. And it's just so bad. Not in the sense of its damage output is ridiculous. It's just hitting it is nearly impossible. Now let me explain. It has 2 setup punches that an enemy can dodge and interrupt. That's already a problem. Its cost is 500 key points instead of the average 300 key points, which, you know, isn't too much of a difference, but, you know, charging can put you into some dangerous situations, so having to charge an extra 200 key points could get you killed. So, let's see what's wrong with its setups. The first setup punch is easy to hit, but can be blocked. If it is blocked, the ultimate move is cancelled and you do not get refunded any of the ki. So you just lost 500 ki, and you just basically brought yourself to your enemy with no energy left. So, problem number 1. Problem number 2, it can be blocked. The setup punch isn't even something that breaks shield or anything. It can be blocked. Problem number 3, it can be interrupted. Anyone can technically punch you during that. You're not even invincible during the setup. Now, problem 4 is the same for both the first setup punch and the second setup punch. It can be evaded. So if your opponent has stamina, they can instant transmission their way out of that attack. And then again, you're sitting there like an idiot with your fist in the air, shaking like an old man, yelling at the kids to get off of his lawn, of course, and 500 ki short. Problems with the second setup is, of course, if you hit the first setup, it sends them flying, which doesn't completely stagger them. They're not stunned yet. They're just being sent backwards. Now what that means is they can dodge the second hit as if it's just a regular hit in the combo. Like if you're just spamming square, they can dodge it as if you were spamming an attack, the same as anything, and that's really annoying. It could also be interrupted at this point. You still have no invincibility frames, as much as you need them at this point. And if an ally that's on your team, someone who's supposed to help you, hits the enemy out of the way, you miss, and that is the end of that ability again. It's cancelled. So as you can see, getting this ability wasn't worth it for me. The only good thing is if you do end up finishing the 2 slow as hell, easy to dodge setup punches. I'm gonna drop here just so I can start grinding right here. So if you get hit by the 2 setup punches, 1, you deserve what's about to happen to you because you let these 2 slow ass dodgeable and blockable setup punches attack you. You deserve to get the pain. But if you do get hit, the Super Kamehameha does so much damage, which is good because you deserve something after attacking like this. Are there no enemies here? That's strange. There they are. Oh nope, that's my 3 meters. So not only did you just waste all this ki for a chance to may or may not nuke your enemy, it just isn't worth how much ki it is and how much money it is to buy the attack itself. Affinity up. Ooh, yay, we can pet our 3 meters soon. Let's see. I don't really know what else to talk about. I really like Kingdom Hearts. I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts. So, I have a problem with Kingdom Hearts. And it's not like the, oh my god, this story is confusing kind of thing, which it totally is. Because I wasn't able to play all the games as soon as possible. Like, I finally got all of them recently, in the past few years. But I still haven't been able to do a full, like, sit through and play all of them. I have other games to play, and school and stuff. But, like, I remember getting my 3DS, and I remember exactly why I got it. I got my 3DS because I wanted to play Dream Drop Distance. It's the only game I wanted at the time, and, well, now I'm playing it, and I'm playing it not on my 3DS. Isn't that funny? I also do have it on my 3DS, but I never beat it. That's why I'm also doing this whole Proud Mode run right now, because I can finally, play Dream Drop Distance 60 FPS with this controller, and it's so much better. It's not like it's the final mix version, nothing's really different, everything's kind of the exact same, which I like, because I didn't need anything extra. I wanted to experience the game as is. All I know, it's a good stepping stone for Kingdom Hearts 3, which has finally been announced, and that's what I don't like about Kingdom Hearts. Like, the span of this series is massive. and the timeline is just hard as hell to follow. And it's not like it's oh no, it's easy if you play all the games. Well, are you gonna buy me all the systems that they were originally on? Could you imagine trying to do this without this HD remake? Like this re-release of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5? Because without any of the re-releases, you would need a PSP, a PS2, and a 3DS. I think that's it. Let's see. Oh, and a mobile phone. Yes, you would need a smartphone and pretty much unlimited data because you would have to play through all of that game. What game I'm talking about? I'm talking about Union Key or whatever it's called now. So it starts, of course, with Kingdom Hearts 1. No. What? The story now starts with Birth by Sleep, which happens before Kingdom Hearts 1, I believe. Then goes into Kingdom Hearts 1, then Chain of Memories, then Kingdom Hearts 2. And as Chain of Memories is ending, as well as the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, it's connected with Kingdom Hearts 385 by 2. Oh, also you need a regular DS, technically. Which is connected with Kingdom Hearts 385 by 2 days, which is the one that's all about Roxas, which I was also a big fan of because I love Roxas. Then it goes Blizzard Edge, nice. Then after 385 by 2 / Kingdom Hearts 2, it's this game, I think, and 2.8. Oh, you'd also need a PS4. That's right, because 2.8 is its own game. Fragmentary Passage. It's hard to follow. It really is. There's just so much to do. And I think that's also why Kingdom Hearts did so well, because it's technically an open world-ish type game when it comes to how you tackle things, with a very linear story. So it feels like a very linear-based story game, but you can tackle anything how you want to. There's no like, oh, go here, fight this right now, then go over here and talk to this guy. You can go somewhere, grind, go to another world, come back, fight that world's boss, go back to the first world, do whatever you got. There's no like points of no return that are so, you know, regrettable. Like, I can now oh, and a Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I guess that would be with the DS, the original DS, because that's how you would play 385 by 2. Because the DS Lite and the DS could play the Game Boy Advance games, but if we're going by systems only, yeah, you would also need a Game Boy Advance or Chain of Memories. The original Chain of Memories, the one that's on a like near 2D plane, and the cards just were so bad, and that game was just terrible, and the fact that they had to HD remaster it as Chain of Memories, it just beautiful. Nomura knows what he's doing. Clearly, because he made a game that everyone wanted to play. And now everyone's waiting for number 3, which is also on the PS4, which you would also need to finish the fucking story. What else? What was I saying? I don't remember. It's going off on a rant. But Kingdom Hearts is such... For me, I messed up when it came to playing the game, because it wasn't mine when I first got it. Kingdom Hearts 1, I mean. I was borrowing it from one of my mom's friends who had a PlayStation 2 for his son, and his son didn't want to play the game anymore. So I borrowed it for a bit, but I never got to beat it, because eventually his son wanted it back, and then it was the whole yada yada, this isn't yours, so give it back. So I never finished Kingdom Hearts 1. Then I remember a few months later, my dad took me to GameStop, and I found Kingdom Hearts. Mind you, I started playing Kingdom Hearts very late. A few months later, I found Kingdom Hearts 2 in the used section, and since it's one of those niche games at the time where it didn't have that big of a following, because Kingdom Hearts 1 was just a clusterfuck of where do I go, what do I do. Kingdom Hearts 2 was very cheap when I bought it for the PS2, and oh man, the adventure that I was put on especially not knowing what happened in Kingdom Hearts 1. And I remember telling myself, oh, I'll just read up on Kingdom Hearts 1, and then I'll know what happened. I never read up on Kingdom Hearts 1, I kind of just went with it, because, hey, why not? Can I just get down here? Thanks, Riku. I then got 385 by 2. I also technically got Chain of Memories at that time, but I don't remember paying attention to the story because I was just so infuriated with the gameplay, because my Game Boy, its L and R buttons tend to break, especially the L button. So I didn't have an L button, so I couldn't fuse the cards together to make the ultimate attacks. So I would lose most of the bigger end game fights. So I didn't have too many fond memories with Chain of Memory, especially on the Game Boy. But I do remember that I played 385, and that was, oh man, I loved that game. Like, to this day I'll sometimes, it's one of those games on my DS that to this day I'll sometimes just pick it up randomly because I'm bored and my DS just happens to be in my hands, and I'll just play it because I love it. That and The World Ends With You, which made it into Kingdom Hearts Dreamed Up Distance, would made me happy. I'll get to that later in the video though. But what else? What's the next game? I played Birth by Sleep next. Birth by Sleep was the next one I got because that's when I got my first and second PSP. My first one was a gift from Silver, actually, if you know who he is. If not, again, his link is in the description under Malcolm. Go ahead and check his channel out. I got a PSP from him, but the problem was it didn't read discs, so I'd have to download most of my games. And I remember a trip to GameStop with my sister, and she saw one of the older PSPs were on clearance, which is the one that I still have now. And she was like, oh, I remember you saying that you wanted a new one because yours didn't read disc. I'll buy it for you right now because it's only like $45. So my sister bought me my second PSP, and I eventually gave Silver his back because then he started downloading games onto it, and we ended up having a huge Dissidia phase, and I'll get into that again another day. Open the chest in the middle of battle. So then I could finally play Birth by Sleep, which my dad bought me for Christmas on disc. It was one of my Christmas presents. That plus the original Dissidia, Final Fantasy 1, and something else. Oh yeah, Guilty Gear. I don't remember which Guilty Gear it was, but it was a Guilty Gear fighting game. Which, Guilty Gear is a stupid game. I love Bridget. If you know who Bridget is, hey. Strike Raid. Next, what was the next game I played in the Kingdom Hearts after that? It was Birth by Sleep. Then I think I played Kingdom Hearts 2 again when Final Mix dropped, and Silver, in his infinite wisdom, said, hey, let's do a critical mode run together. And one, that almost made me hate Kingdom Hearts because I hate challenge runs. But I do like playing Dark Souls. Well, I don't fucking know. I never said everything that I do makes sense. But it was just the fact that I had to go through this game in such a hard state. I wasn't ready for it, I can tell you that much. It was just unbelievably difficult. What do I get? What do I get? Oh, the RAM recipe, perfect. Speaking of, can I make new spirits? Let's see. No. Okay, perfect, good to know. So yeah. Then I started playing Kingdom Hearts 1 on my PS3 when I borrowed Silver's 1.5, because I had 2.5. But he had both 1.5 and 2.5, which I guess now we have again. We bought it again on PS4. we really like Kingdom Hearts, as you can see. You okay? My sheep is having a spasm. So then Now I'm playing Dream Drop Distance. Oh, yeah. After, when I got my 3DS, which is after Birth by Sleep, I did end up getting Dream Drop Distance for my 3DS, and I played it there for the first time, but now I'm playing it again. Obviously, you're watching me play it. I'm playing it again on my PlayStation, but I'm actually doing a run-through of it. This is just grinding time. So, I've played a lot of the Kingdom Hearts games, and I've beaten a good majority of them. I did end up beating Chain of Memories after a few years of having it, mainly because I just didn't want to play that game. I really didn't like it. But I think before I started high school, I ended up playing it again. Fucking why? And I remember taking my dad's Game Boy, and I would use that. Since his buttons weren't broken, I was able to easily just trash Ansem and Marluxia. Spoiler, by the way. I mean, if you don't know the story of Chain of Memories, I don't blame you. Because, God, that game was awful. Chain of Memories is a lot better, I guess, but they still have the whole card mechanic, which in of itself is kind of toxic to have. Because who needs cards when you have a giant key? And why does the number of my card represent when I can swing my key? I thought that would, like, if Kingdom Hearts is going to do something special, I think they should do a stamina gauge for really hard challenge runs, because having stamina in a Kingdom Hearts game, ironically, you're making me want to play Chain of Memories again. Don't. And if you're going to play Chain of Memories on the 1.5 or 2.5, whatever, I don't remember which one it is. I think it's on the 1.5 disc. Play it on there, because you'll like it so much better, mainly because what they did right in the Chain of Memories is that you can, one, move on a 3D plane again. Yeah, you still have to deal with the cards, but you can dodge, and like actually dodge, and that's what separates that game from being so frustratingly difficult. It's because in the original Chain of Memories, it's on a 2D type platform. Hey, can I borrow yours? Yes. The 1.5 I have is on disc for PS3, and the 1.5 2.5 remaster that I have is digital. So if we could figure out a way, sure. But if anything, I guess play it on the Game Boy if that's your last resort. Like, honestly, it's your last resort. I never minded frustration. I do. I mind frustration when it's game design. Like, when it's poor game design that's leading to this artificial difficulty. That's... Nope, the GBA one. Oh, okay. Okay. You are the masochist in this relationship. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts was a good game, and it still is to this day, and I can pick up most of the Kingdom Hearts games and have a good time for at least 3 or 4 hours, which is hard to say for some games. For example, like, I know you get frustrated easily. Haha. You watch my Titan Souls Let's Play. You know. Speaking of... Hey, no I'm not. What was I saying? Whoa. Smooth moves. Yeah, but like... It's more of a... I don't like it when games use poor gameplay design to make difficulty. Like... how do I... Alright, For Honor. Oh, what did I do? Did I accidentally just use my RAM? Oh, son of a bitch. I didn't mean to do that. At least they're enemies. Oh, this is upsetting. I've been saving him. When did I click on him? Alright, can I cancel it? I can't. Oh, this is upsetting. Just wasted it. But yeah. what was it? For Honor, right? I love that game to death. It's probably one of my favorite sword fighting games to play at any given time because of how realistic it is. And that's where its problem lies. It's a realistic fighting game. That means anyone who has a shield is going to have an advantage when fighting people with very flimsy swords, or just swords in general. So that's why classes like, you see, Valkyrie and Warlord dominate lower tier play, which is where I am, because one, I'm not a professional For Honor player, and two, I don't play that game so much where I'm that high of a level to fight people who don't need shields to win. So I'll constantly get into matches against people using Warlord, Valkyrie, Conqueror. And Conqueror just got nerfed, or he got nerfed a while back, but still, it's still the whole I'm throwing my head into a brick wall only to be met with concussions. And when you think about it, it makes sense because you're throwing your head into a brick wall. But it's just like, why make these classes so tanky and just revolve the meta around, you know, being defensive, when it's one of those games where you can see the sheer amount of effort of your offense when you do these combos and attacks. And that's when people are just like, oh, For Honor is a hard game to get into because, you know, players are all just too good, especially in every tier. It's like, no. Low tier entry For Honor is easy because no one knows what they're doing. And that's the thing. Everyone's just playing what they think is strong. And you'll constantly hear on lists, oh, Warlord is very strong, blah blah blah, because people lose to them a lot because they have a shield. So there's that. There's also the fact that, you know, there's no low people in For Honor anymore. So you're going to constantly get matched up with people who are stronger than you. Because the fan base for Honor, let's admit it, as much as I love that game, the fan base for Honor has diminished very, very low. Because no one's interested in playing that game anymore, and it sucks. It really does. Because the game is well made. It's... okay, the game itself is well made. Yo, what's up, Unbounded? The game itself is well made, the servers need some work, everything needs work, and the community isn't that bad. The community is just filled with people who like to meme on people. There's nothing wrong with that. Just gets, you know, a little tiring after a while. But I don't blame For Honor for that. It's more of a player-based and Ubisoft kind of problem. So there's that. But it's just, it sucks to see such a good concept of this game where you have these three classes of people, the samurai, the Vikings, and the knights. These three classes of people who everyone is always, you know, well, everyone who bought the game has always probably had one of those dreams to want to be one of them, and I fall under two of those. I wanted to be a knight and I wanted to be a samurai. I never wanted to be a fucking filthy Viking. Up until now, because Vikings are hella fun to play, not gonna lie. But it's just sucks because this game could have been so much more, but no one gave any effort when it came to making the game. So servers are peer servers. They're peer-to-peer connection. That means you're at the mercy of whoever has the strongest internet and who is hosting the game. Now that's already a problem because I don't really have to explain it. They leave, the whole game stops. That's just not okay. Then there's the whole, you know, lower entry people are playing what they think is OP, and you get stuck with the same classes in the same game, and it gets kind of, you know, agitating. I don't like to go into a Dominion game and see 4 warlords, because then I know I'm gonna have to at least parry an attack so I can get that free guard break off. And depending on who you play, it's a lot harder to do because warlords have some... Welcome back, Alex. it takes a long time to do things, and it's not very friendly. You also get a lot of people everywhere on any community that are very toxic, and I think that's what people think is left of For Honor. The toxic memers who are only there to play for themselves, and no one cares about honor anymore, so everyone's just throwing people off of ledges and stuff. Which, I mean, hey, don't knock it till you try it. But it's just sad, because I really wanted this game to do well, and I feel like it could have, and I have only really good memories with that game. But to see it do so bad because of its core gameplay mechanics, because the game itself favors people who are defensive, and then they put these defensive classes in positions where it's hard to reach them because of, you know, their defense. The Conqueror has possibly one of the fastest times on moving his shield from one spot to another. He can constantly just move back and forth. The only downside to playing the Conqueror is that you can't feint your attacks. Now, if that's a problem, I don't want to know what is his benefits, because sometimes you don't even have to feint attack. Sometimes you just gotta be there and just commit to it, because some people don't expect that. And especially his shield bash, which knocks people down and doesn't even have to be charged. It's just a free sit the fuck down button. And then Warlord with his Omni block is what I like to call. I mean, all of them technically have Omni blocks where they just hold down on the right stick and they block from all incoming directions as long as it's not behind them. And it's just like, yeah, it wastes their stamina ever so slightly, but if you attack them, they get a free attack afterwards, because you can't. Unless you have an unblockable, but then they can, you know, drop their Omni block and parry it. Because it's not like unblockables are the fastest things in the world. The Raiders zone attack, the Shigoki's charged heavy, and the Lawbringer's top heavy unblockable, they're all very much telegraphed. And if you get too close to try and guard break, they can just, again, let go of said Omni Guard and punish you. The game devolves straight into the whole defensive turtle meta, and that's what annoys me the most, because then people don't want to play. You get a whole lot of people doing this, and you just like, what's the point if I'm just gonna fight another 3 warlords and not be able to get a single attack in because, well, they're blocking everything. And it demoralizes people to want to come into this game when you have people who are on like YouTube and Twitch putting high level blah 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 in their titles, and it's just some guy just blocking everything and then attacking once every 5 minutes. It's gonna look boring, but that's not what For Honor is. For Honor has so much more, and that's what I love about it, because there's so many things you can do, so many ways to approach enemies, and you have to adapt on the fly. You have to learn how to counter who you're fighting. I just came out of a duel against double teamers. That too, double teaming is the worst, because duels and brawls are the only places where I'm just like, okay, honor still exists, because this is, you know, what honor is supposed to be. And a bot overall rep was 26 and 32. They always threw my friend off a ledge. If you won, good to you, because double teamers, I hate them. It's not like I don't understand where they're coming from. They're probably doing those meme montages that you see on YouTube every now and then, and it's just something you gotta kind of have to put up with. But like, it's one of the reasons why I sometimes just don't want to play For Honor, because I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm gonna go into a game and just get memed on, and I'm gonna drop now. Dropped in midair. That's nice. 146 job points, damn. Good job, Riku. It's just, I don't know. the fact that all of that is okay, and there's no like, there's no way to have this unspoken code of conduct where it's just like, you know what, in duels and always in duels we won't throw people off, because no matter what, you're always gonna have people who are gonna want to do it anyway. So there's no point in like feeling things out when it's going to happen. So like that's the whole bad game design thing, because the game itself even promotes this, because there are some matches that are literally suspended over air with a walkway, like just a walkway, and there are no like rail guards to stop you from being thrown off the ledge. So of course someone's gonna take this opportunity to just toss your ass off and just watch you perish. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna get ready to end this because I feel like it's more of a rant now. They could let them do with a small penalty. Yeah, but small penalties don't, like, to be honest, more people are respecting one-on-one fights. Yeah, a lot of people do, but a lot of people also don't, and that's what sucks. There are more people who don't respect it than the people who do. So it's a lot of, like, you have to find a good match. You have to find a good match and stick with those people, and those people you end up friends with. And I think I'm gonna end the stream on this boss fight, because why not? Fuck it. Also, the world ends with you. Neku, please, I love you.
Hey, Neku, it's you.
What's up? How did we get up here so fast?
What? You actually still trust me?
Of course I do.
I actually am not going to show the story, because just in case someone wants to play it, or just in case I want to do a Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. See ya, Alex. If you've never played Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, or the demo, I'm pretty sure this was in the demo. This was one of the only boss fights that were allowed to go through in the demo. Shock Dive, because it's one of the strongest slow motion moves. Period. All I know is that there are some times where I get on For Honor and think, do I really want to play? And that shouldn't happen to a game. And that's why I know For Honor lost its popularity, and I understand why. Because things like this exist. And there's no penalty for them, so they're going to continue to exist. There's nothing we can do about it. Yo, Whisk. Oh no, I just switched out Whisk. Snug, get back. Whisk. Let's go. There's nothing we can do about it, and we kind of just gotta deal with it. And I understand that. And it's upsetting. And again, it's not like there's something we can do about it. We just kind of have to roll with these punches. Well, like I said, I'm going to finish off with this boss fight. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Talking Grind. For those of you who are here on this talk with me, I appreciate your input. However, if you're watching this in the future as something to keep that background noise, I appreciate the views. Like, comment, subscribe, talk to me when I'm on stream, follow me on Twitter if you'd like, @BakaSwift. Join the Discord and become part of the meme garbage that we all are. And if anything, I'll see you around next time. Have a wonderful night, wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon. Wherever you are, have a